everybody, Daniel Mosnet with Cowboy Charcoal, and we have got a hot one for you today. We're talking holiday ham, as you can see right in front of me. And we're talking Jack Daniels. What better combination can you ask for? We're gonna show you how you go from here to there in just a few steps, all right? The first thing that I was taught when I started cooking was you really need to learn how to marinate the chef. So that's what we're gonna start doing. We're gonna just take some of the Jack Daniels wood chips. You can see these wood chips. They are just the actual whiskey barrel, the whiskey barrels themselves. We just chip them down, and that is the wood chip. You can still see the char on some of them. You can see them like this one here. That's the char of the Jack Daniels barrel. So we're just gonna take a couple of these and we're gonna lightly get them burning right on one of our wood planks here. And once those start to smoke, we're just gonna invert our glass right over the top. We just wanna get a little bit of that smoke flavor right inside the glass. You can see that smoke starting to fill up in there. Then we're gonna grab a couple of pieces of ice. Oh man, that smells good. Grab a couple pieces of ice, drop it right inside, take our Jack Daniels. This is a very important part of the recipe here. We'll pour it right over the top. And that is recipe number one for your holiday ham. Excellent, we'll finish that soon. Okay, now, once you have your cocktail ready, now we're gonna take our ham. We decided to go with a shank. So there's a lot of different types of ham that you can get. And there's a lot that you can use. So the easiest thing, you've got so much going on for Thanksgiving, Christmas, all through the holidays. Buy a pre-cooked ham, very simple. You can get a spiral one that's already sliced for you. You can get the bottom, the butt. I particularly like the shank because I like this bone for after Thanksgiving. I like to make my stews, my leftover Thanksgiving gumbo. I throw this whole shank because it still has a lot of meat on it. I throw all of that in there with a roux and some sausage and a little bit of leftover turkey, some leftover ham, all of that mirepoix, and you throw it in there and it's fantastic. It's leftover Thanksgiving gumbo. I think we'll do that as one of our next recipes. So I've decided to go with a pre-cooked, pre-smoked ham shank, and you see that it's got a nice fat cap along the back, and you've got some of the meat right in the front, okay? What you wanna make sure that you do is you're gonna have to score this. So number one, for your presentation, it looks nice, but two, you want a lot of that fat to render out, because that's what you're gonna use along with some Jack Daniels and some maple syrup. We're gonna use that to rebase the ham, okay? So the first step is to take our ham, and we're gonna find this fat side and we're just gonna score it, right? Nice and simple. Some people do very small bits of scoring. I like nice big chunks. So I just make a nice little checkerboard all the way down. Okay, nice big slices. We wanna expose all of that fat all the way around, and then we're gonna just go right around the top. So again, we're making a checkerboard. I like to go nice and big. Okay, some people do it nice and small. It's up to you. Whatever your personal preference is. Remember, this is supposed to be fun and enjoyable and easy, simple. And we're just exposing a little bit more of that fat so we get a little bit more render. And that's it. That's as much as you really need to cut it. You can go a little bit deeper if you want. I don't like to get into where the meat is. I like to stay right on the fat side. Now, I used to stick a clove in each one of these. I don't know, I didn't really taste it. It looked kind of cool, but then you had all these cloves that you're trying to pick out when you're cutting. Some people really love the clove. Some people do a little ground clove right over the top. But you can put one whole clove right in each one of the sections. I think my dad did that maybe. So take your ham, give it a nice score. Once you've got it scored, we're gonna take our Jack Daniels pork rub and we're going to give it a nice coating. Now, some folks at this point, you can add a mustard slather so it stays on a little bit better. It's just your personal preference. I just like the Jack Daniels coating If you feel like it's not sticking enough for you, you can add a little bit of your, before we make our glaze, you can add a little bit of our maple syrup right to the top, right? And then if you baste that around, that'll help your seasoning to stay a little bit more, so you don't have all your seasoning end up on your tray. But think about it, if your seasoning ends up on the tray, it's okay, because you're gonna use that to rebaste the ham over and over and over again. So it's really not a big deal. Give yourself a nice generous amount all the way around. You want it as even as you can, kind of pat it down, pat it through. And that's about as complicated as we're gonna get for our ham, okay? Once that's done, you wanna make sure that it's nice and secured on your foil. I like to use a foil on the tray so it's a lot easier to clean, okay? So when we're done, we can just take the foil right off the top and your sheet pan's nice and easy, okay? So that's it, that's done. You can see it's all scored. Those will open up just like a flower, like a nice flower, just open right up the whole time. So you take that, and for the moment, we're gonna set it down. And now I'm gonna show you how to make your glaze. Okay, so to the glaze, we're just gonna take, I like this one, it's kind of a nice one. It's Tree's Knees Spicy Maple, right? Really simple. We're just gonna add a little maple syrup. We're gonna add a little more Jack Daniels, because what holiday isn't made better with Jack Daniels? I don't know, I haven't experienced one yet, so cheers to you. We're gonna add a little bit more of our Jack Daniels seasoning. Okay, we'll give that a little bit of a mix. And that's it. We're gonna put that right on the fire. You're gonna put that right on the fire and let that start to thicken up a little bit. You can leave that right next to your ham and it'll start to boil. What you wanna make sure you do is you don't really wanna put your glaze on the ham too early. What'll that do? That'll put the sugars on the ham inside your smoking environment really quickly, and you'll start to burn, and you can get some of those burnt flavors, and that's what you want to avoid. So you only really want to glaze that about the last 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes before your ham's done. But take a look at this ham. This looks beautiful. This has been on for about 3 hours or so. And you know what you want to look for here is all of these juices. See, when we said all of that fat will start to render, this is all of that rendered Compart Duroc pork juice right here. We've basted it about every 15 or 20 minutes in its own juices. And then we've got our basting liquid. About 15, 20 minutes ago, we put our basting liquid right over the top of it, and that's what's given it this nice deep color. You're gonna bring this out. You can bring this out whole, or you can put it into slices, but this is a showstopper. And it's so easy. It's so simple. That's what your ham, that's what you're going for. You can see these lines right through here. See, I didn't get a deep enough cut right there. But these are all of our score marks right here. And that's why you wanna make sure you cut it nice and deep in the beginning, and then this opens up, renders everything out, and let's take a look and see where we're at. Now, it's already cooked. This ham that we purchased is an already cooked ham, and you can see, look at that. We've got all those beautiful flavors, all those flavors coming right through. Give it a taste here and see where we are. That tastes so good. I'm getting some of the Jack Daniels flavors from the wood chips that we used. I'm getting some of the Jack Daniels flavors from the pork rub, from the Jack Daniels that we used as a glaze, and we just kept glazing it over and over. This is about a 12-pound ham, so you want to go for, this ham will cook for about 3 hours or so, but it's really to your doneness and the temperature that you cook it. I like to cook it nice and slow so we get as much of that juice, as much of that fat inside and outside the ham to render, but you're really just bringing it up to temperature. Bringing it up to temperature and glazing it over and over. So as you come through here, you just take your slices. This is why sometimes it's easier for folks to have ham, their spiral sliced ham, because you don't have to cut it as much. You don't have to score it because it's already cut. And then it's a lot easier for you to get your pieces out for your guests. But you just cut all the way down. You can find where the bone is. You see it right through here, and then you just cut it in slices, nice easy slices. Now for this particular recipe, I like the flavor that we get from the smoke woods that we're using, the Jack Daniel's woods. I think it makes a big difference. You can use this, you can do this in your pellet grill with Cowboy charcoal pellets. You can add these wood chips to your pellet smoker right on the side in either a foil tray, a piece of aluminum foil that you make into a little bit of a boat. You can add a little bit more smoke flavor. You can do this on your charcoal grill. You can use lump charcoal, briquettes, any grill that you have, you know, make it your own. All right, so we're just gonna add a few more slices here. When you cut this down, try to get a slice with the edge so you get some of that nice crust for your guests. Big pieces, small pieces, use all of them, because this ham's gonna go quickly once you start putting it out. There you go, that's your holiday ham. I'm Daniel Mosnet with Cowboy Charcoal. Thanks for sticking with us these last few weeks. We've got a lot of great recipes. Visit cowboycharcoal.com. Visit Cowboy Charcoal Pitmasters Facebook group. We've got a lot of exclusive contests and a lot of exclusive content there for you to check out as well. Any questions, make sure you ask us. Happy holidays.